I have spent my entire life wondering if I fit in or not, and it's only since I started my business I realised being different is actually such a superpower. And I've always watched YouTube, always felt at home at YouTube, always wanted to start my own YouTube channel, but I just never took the plunge. And I don't know, over the last maybe 2 years, I've dabbled in and out. I've created some videos. I even have some videos to edit that I need to upload of when we got Henry as a puppy as well from Dogs Trust, which is a kennel in the UK. And I have other things that I want to talk about and things that I want to do. And I honestly think that people will find it really interesting. But then I get weeks or days where I don't back myself and I question it all. And I'm like, what's the point? So I had a thought. I keep having a reoccurring thought, actually. And it's that if I'm lucky, I'm going to have 50 summers left. And that is scary because 50 summers is not long. And that's not even guaranteed. One more summer isn't even guaranteed. And I have so many goals that I want to go and achieve in life. Yes, I want to grow my business. Yes, I want to be successful. But I also want to have children. And I also want to travel the world. And I also want to try out loads of different jobs and be someone but also be no one at the same time. I want to try so many different things and be a jack of all trades rather than good at just one thing. So I'm thinking that maybe I just need to use my YouTube channel to hold me accountable and go and achieve those things that I've been putting off for a very, very long time. So I have a couple of things coming up that I haven't booked yet, but I know they're happening. In January, I'm going to be running a 100-kilometer ultramarathon in the snow. It's going to be in Sweden. It's over 2 days, so you basically camp, but you actually can't camp because it'll be like minus 30. So we'll be staying in barracks, I suppose, something like that. And then after that, I think I'm going to come home. So currently home is Portugal. I'm from Wales originally in the UK, but I live in Portugal and I've been living here for almost 2 years now. So I'll come home and I'll figure out how I feel, obviously recover from the ultramarathon, which will be my longest run ever. The furthest I've ever run is a full marathon, but that was in Seville. And as you can see, in Portugal it's very hot. So I think it's going to take a lot of toll on my body in Sweden, in Lapland. But I'm going to also try and make that trip something to almost tick off my bucket list to see the Northern Lights properly. I have seen them in Switzerland, but it was obviously it's going to be incredibly different in January in the depth of winter. It's going to be so different in Sweden. So I kind of want to make sure that I commit time to that and I go all out and I have an experience of a lifetime because I know that's going to be really, really great. And I just know that by having this YouTube channel, I will also document it because I keep thinking I do so many different things. I'm so busy all of the time. I'd never take time off work. Me and Phil never take time off work. We've not had a holiday. I know we live in a holiday destination, but we don't actually have time off of work. And I want to do more things to fill up my own cup. And I truly think by having a YouTube channel that will force me to get out of my office, force me to get out of my comfort and go and experience new things. And I know this sounds so crazy, but I want to, like I said earlier in this video, I want to be the jack of all trades. I want to be able to have an experience of working in a bakery, in a florist, in a restaurant, in a coffee shop. I want to be successful and make lots of money and have a great lifestyle to be able to afford it and things. But I also just don't want to do anything at the same time. So I think maybe if I set myself some challenges and be like, it's an experiment for my YouTube, I'm actually going to do it and follow through on the things that I'm going to do. So coming back, also my brain works like that. I will go off on a tangent and come back. So coming back to my Sweden trip, I'm going to make that a trip of a lifetime, maybe do some dog sledding, perhaps do, I don't know, maybe try snowboarding, skiing or something like that and try and stay there for at least a week. And then I'm going to come home and hopefully by then I'll have things booked in the calendar. Things that I really, really want to do. I have a bucket list. I have things that I want to achieve over the next 5 years. And by no means is there a plan. There's no 5-year plan. Heck, I don't even have a 1-year plan. I have no plan. You just don't even know if you'll live that long. Hopefully I will. Hopefully I'll be super lucky and live for a really long time. But nothing's ever guaranteed. So, yeah. This is just going to be the beginning of that list. So we're going to Sweden. Then I think we're going to go to China and live with the monks for at least a month. There's This stuff scares the life out of me, but it's also what excites me the most because it's been my calling for so long. I've always wanted to go and live with the monks. I've always wanted to see a safari in Africa. I've always wanted to see bears in the wild catching fish. Like, I think that I'll need to go to Alaska or Canada for that. I've always been really drawn to Alaska as well because I used to watch the Alaskan bush people growing up, and I used to think how they live off the land is like insane. I also want to start my own mini farm. We actually have a bit of a garden now, so like I really need to take action on that as well, and I just don't because I continuously work, and I think that's what I should be doing. But I know that this YouTube will keep me on track of listening to my heart and following through on the things that actually cause me so much joy. Like I just know that's going to be the case. So you guys are going to help hold me accountable. There's a couple of things that I just said on the list. I have already achieved some things on the list, like riding a camel, being in the Sahara Desert, basically Phil did an ultramarathon in the Sahara Desert, so that's inspired me to want to do one in the snow. And if you want to check that out, then I will link his video below. But I rode a camel, I saw the Eiffel Tower at night, which I really wanted to do. And the other things on there are, I just want to experience. I want to be able to say, like, look back on my life and say, I did it. Like, I did a lot, and I have cool stories to tell, and I have a lot of experiences to talk about, and memories created with the people I love. And there is so much to look forward to in life if you know that it's possible. Whereas I used to be so sad all of the time. I would read like such depressing poetry. I would just cry a lot. And like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I actually enjoy being sad, especially at like during times of the month, you know, like you do enjoy the sadness and sitting in the sadness. But there is so much going on in the world, and we are literally just floating on a rock. And I'm like, if I think about this all of the time, I won't do anything. So it's really important to me that I actually get up and I just go and do things and go and experience and travel. I think traveling for me is needed. My goal is to one day have a biological child and an adopted child. And I know I obviously cannot go and live with monks when I have children to look after. So that's necessary. That needs to happen. I would also like to go falcon hunting on horseback. This will kill me because I actually hate killing animals. And I know it sounds ridiculous because I eat animals, but the thought of me actually doing the damage really hurts my feelings. But I also know that it's living at one with nature, and I would love to almost live with the people in yurts and understand how they live off the land and be very self-sustaining, and they have like zero effect on planet Earth. I just think I need to experience all different ways of life. I keep thinking about this one experience because I grew up with no money. I grew up on a very poor council estate. I literally had nothing. Like, we just had nothing. Well, we had love. You can have stress and love at the same time, but I'm not saying that it was easy. I'm not saying it was awful, but we just didn't have much. We never went on holiday. The first time I went on a plane, I was about 17, and I thought it was like the most magical thing ever. Anyway, the second holiday I ever went on was all the way to Bali. So you can imagine I threw myself in at the deep end. Have no idea why I thought that was okay at the time, but here we go. I experienced so much culture change. I remember my dad saying to me, Shauna, you're going to go to this country. Not everybody's going to have electricity. Not everybody's going to have running water. I was like, Dad, everybody has that. Like, why? What are you on about? Anyway, I went there and he was correct. Not everybody has that. Some people live in shacks, but they are the happiest people around as long as they have their family, as long as they have clothes on their back. Some of them didn't even have shoes, but as long as they had the basics, they got by. And ever since then, I've never seen life the same. Like, I think I was already super deep anyway, and then that made me realize, holy shit, like, the world is fucked. So I'm just continuously going to see it through my own lens, rose-tinted glasses, help as much as I can along the way, change people's lives in my job, but then also fill up my own cup in other ways, because as I keep coming back, like, if I get 50 summers, if I'm lucky, I'm going to get 50 summers. So I want to make sure that every single summer, every single year is doing something that I actually want to do, not doing something that I think I should be doing, because there's no actual joy in that. So I hope you come along with me for the journey, and this is definitely going to hold me accountable. Things that I think we will talk about on here, I will do lifestyle vlogs, fitness stuff, nutrition stuff. It would also be like super helpful if you guys could suggest things that I could do, because I think sometimes I get in my own head massively. Like, I mean, I know I'm cool, but sometimes I question, like, do people actually want to see this kind of stuff? But I think for me, another big contribution of this is like, if I'm going to do so much, one day I might get dementia, and this is my overthinking brain. One day I might get dementia and I will want to watch my own videos back. So I'm going to do it, and it's free to post online. Also, how cool would it be if I'm lucky enough to have children, and then even more lucky enough to have grandchildren, and we can watch my adventures together? Like, that would be so cool. All of the different avenues and growth journeys in my life. I'm just like, that's so cool. So I'm not going to miss this opportunity. I'm going to absolutely do it. And you guys need to hold me accountable. So here we go. I'm excited for you to join me.